Hello, welcome to another edition of CannaSphere, where we bring you the latest, the greatest news about,
and not so greatest,
and sometimes not so greatest. Let's face it, it's great, but not always great.
Yeah, it's cuck sometimes. Eh?
Sometimes it's cuck. What do we have coming up today, bro?
So we have Wits studying hemp and can rehabilitate the gold mines.
Kimberley Rusters get really angry over sample licenses.
What's new? And then also we talk about the Cannabis Expo that's taking place here in Sandton. It's back again due to COVID. It's been gone, now it's happening. And we're going to be there.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a bit later. SA cannabis companies try to lure back Canadian investors. And Noxy will be talking about raw cannabis, the benefits without the high.
Not such thing. I don't believe that. No, don't believe that.
Well, we'll see about that later. Brett, over to you for the news headlines in Limpopo.
Good day from the CannaSphere news desk in a very sunny and humid Limpopo. A University of the Witwatersrand study has confirmed that hemp may be the answer to rehabilitating old gold mines. Tiago Campbell, who's studying for a master's in environmental science, has proved that cannabis or hemp acts as a heavy metal hyperaccumulator in comparison to other plants studied for their phytoremediation potential. And those plants are, by the way, Indian mustard, water hyacinth, alfalfa, and sunflower. Campbell says South Africa has been impacted by 130 years of irresponsible mining, and there are almost 380 abandoned mines in a 400-kilometer radius around Gauteng and the Free State. He said acid drainage and concentrations of heavy metals were a hazard to humans and wildlife. His study involved planting 1,000 cannabis plants in mine dumps, and he found that they extracted significant heavy metals such as arsenic, cadmium, cobalt, copper, zinc, and uranium. The plants were subsequently unfit for any form of human consumption that could be made into building materials like hempcrete. Kimberley Rusters are unhappy that they're being sidelined by the National Cannabis Master Plan and have threatened to shut down SAPRA nationwide. Last week, Rusters held a protest march in the capital of the Northern Cape, saying that they, as the custodians of cannabis, should be the first to benefit from any new licensing regime. Marchers also called for the dissolution of SAPRA, saying it was sidelining indigenous knowledge systems. And looking further abroad, the Canadians burnt their fingers in Africa in 2019. Could they be coming back for a second chance? Well, several South African companies made virtual investor presentations last week to participants in the Canada-Africa Business Forum. None were looking to raise money for cultivation or grow ops, but at other parts of the value chain. Among the companies was Paarl-based Afriplex. Afriplex CEO Dani Nell said South Africa offered international investors the highest returns in Africa and a gateway into the continent and had the lowest energy costs. He said that Afriplex had a 6,000 square meter GMP facility, annual revenues of $10 million a year, and was well placed in the middle of the value chain to offer investors above market returns. And guys, I know that you're happy, but we're all happy in the cannabis industry to see that the Cannabis Expo is back. Gauteng's Cannabis Expo kicks off this Thursday at the Sandton Convention Center after being flattened like every other business events business by the COVID pandemic. And you know, I was a casualty of the Cape Town Expo that was meant to happen in 2019. I was going to launch Cannabiz Africa at that expo, and the COVID restrictions literally kicked in a few days before, and I'd invested a lot of money and resources in launching things there. It took me a year to climb back on my feet again, so I'm very happy to see that the expo is back in. That's a sign that possibly things are returning a bit back to normality. What do you guys say, Trenton?
Interesting, because for me last year, I got affected by COVID. I was actually in Barcelona for Cannabis and ICBC, and literally When I landed, the events were still on, and they got cancelled like one day after another. So it's had a massive impact. And that was, going on just under 2 years ago. So I think it's fantastic that the Cannabis Expo is happening again. I think it's a really big thing for the industry. Every time the Expo has happened, I really felt like the industry took a massive leap forward, which was hugely inspiring. So I'm really excited that we're going to be there. Obviously, it's going to be full COVID protocol, but I think it's so important that the industry has a place to come together and connect and share stories. And we've obviously, it's been a bumpy year and a half for many companies in the industry. So I think it's a fantastic thing that's happening.
And so,
you're going to be there, Brett?
Yes, I will be, and probably hanging around the Cheeba stand with you guys if you'll have me. And so I think
we'll pay £5 an hour.
If anybody's looking to meet the CannaSphere team, Cheeba is probably the best place to find us at the expo. And if you can get along there, because we've got to breathe life into this industry. Nobody's going to do it but ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to it. We're back up in Joburg again.
Yeah,
seems to be our second home at the moment. Lots of miles under our belt this year, I think. But it's been an exciting and interesting year. So I think the expo is going to bring a lot of things together. There'll be some people who won't be there, who haven't survived. There'll be other people who are flourishing. It's going to be a totally different dynamic to before. The industry's come a long way in the last year and a half. So it's going to be very exciting. So if you're in the Johannesburg area, get down to the expo. Tickets are available online. It's happening on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. It's sponsored by Juicy Fields, who are a company based in Berlin. So there's international stuff going on. There's panels, workshops, a whole host of things. If you want to learn about cannabis, if you're interested in the cannabis industry, or if you're a general consumer who just wants to come along and see what's available in the cannabis space, it's a fantastic opportunity.
No kids allowed, though. Only 18s.
Only over 18s. Absolutely. Right, guys, let's find out about raw cannabis and the benefits without being high.
Don't believe it.
Noxy.
Lie.
It is an absolutely gorgeous day in Joburg today. I always mention the weather because I'm that person whose mood is extremely affected by the temperature. So if it's a sunny day, I'm very excited, I'm happy, I'm here. But if it's gloomy, then I'm just mad. Good afternoon and welcome to the CannaSphere Lifestyle Desk. I am the Kush Queen, bringing you all things local and international lifestyle, art, and entertainment in the CannaSphere. Contrary to popular belief, weed doesn't just get you high. Well, raw weed, that is. The key element to the high experience is heat, which converts THCA into THC. So THC is a compound that delivers the high experience. But if you've got raw weed, adding it to some sweets and hoping you'll get high probably won't work. But why would you want to eat raw weed? Let's start there. Probably for health benefits. THCA benefits may include anti-inflammatory properties, neuroprotective properties, which may help in preventing and treating conditions like Alzheimer's, as well as anti-nausea properties. Whilst consuming raw cannabis won't get you high and won't be the most delicious experience, it's sort of like eating leafy greens. While the plant won't produce any psychoactive effects, it may help in providing vitamins, minerals, and cannabinoids to your system. And who doesn't need cannabinoids? Like, absolutely nobody. The best way to consume raw weed is through juicing, which allows you to use the entire plant, buds, stems, the leaves, the whole thing. You add this to some fresh fruit and you blend away. Some people even use the leaves in salads, which I've never tried, but I'm assuming kind of works. Would sort of taste good. I think Trenton once posted a video on Instagram of a marijuana smoothie. How was that experience for you, Trenton? You did post that video, right? I'm not dreaming.
Yes, I did post that video. It did rather well, actually.
lots of views.
Yes, I've been using cannabis leaves for many years. I juice them, I freeze them. I think that's the key. Is you obviously when you're defoliating, you can end up with far too many to have in 1 or 2 days, and they obviously deteriorate quite quickly. So I freeze them in a bag, and then I pull them out, throw them in with my bananas and my honey and my whatever else I put into a smoothie. Bullet it up and down the hatch. Give it to my whole family. Fantastic. I've been told by a number of doctors that it's kind of wheatgrass on steroids. That's why I was so shocked a few months ago when the DG of Health came out and said cannabis had no nutritional value. I was like, dude, come on, bro.
You know, so I've been using
your
it
research.
for a long time. Yeah,
Do his research.
THCA. You know, it's fantastic for you. So
True.
yeah, I feel good. I feel strong. You know, and so does my family. All good. Have you ever done that, Brett?
No, this is all the new.
Have you ever chewed the cud?
You know, to put it that way, I was actually chewing the cud with a tomato farmer yesterday here in Limpopo, out at Moketsi. Now, anybody who's from Limpopo will know, and many consumers through South Africa will actually know the brand ZZ2. Now,
Yeah.
ZZ2 is one of the biggest tomato farms in the world. When I say big, I mean 3,500 workers. I mean 8,000 hectares of tomatoes, of trucks, a fleet of trucks running every day to Joburg from Limpopo. And I said to him, you know, doesn't cannabis offer you an opportunity, because it does favor big business, and you guys have got deep pockets, and you've got the ability to just adapt quite easily. You're already doing some tomatoes in greenhouses and that. And he looked at me with that kind of simplicity of that kind of rural, kind of slight, superior kind of, you people don't really know what's going on. He said, us farmers, we hate paperwork. Now, what we asked to get into an industry where there's so much paperwork that we just want to just carry on farming tomatoes. And he said the other thing is that we're the best country in Africa for growing outdoor products, vegetables. We've been told by agriculture we're such a good cannabis producing nation, but not one license issued for outdoor. And so why should I actually bother to get involved in this industry? I'd rather stick to tomatoes. And that was quite an interesting direct message from somebody who's looking at the cannabis industry from outside, and has actually just made the mental calculations that it's actually more hassle than that it's worth right now, because it's so bound in regulations and compliance and red tape. And until the regulatory framework changes, I'm afraid it's, you know, we're still sitting on the outside trying to get in.
Speaking of tomatoes, Brett, can you just stand up? I really need to see what that shirt is.
Jensen, these are cherries, not tomatoes.
They're not cherry tomatoes.
Cherry tomato.
Where did you find that? That is spectacular.
Isn't there an announcement today?
Anyway, I'm being so celebratory because today is the first birthday of Cannabiz Africa. We went online 1 year ago today, and Keku Lake said no. We're all very happy about that. We've there's no birthday cake, but and I won't show you the scars. But 1 year on, Cannabiz Africa is rocking and rolling, and I'm really happy to be part of CannaSphere and this team, and combining our energy and our strength. And I think next year is going to be a cracker for all of us.
Oh,
I agree.
definitely.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree
Yeah,
too.
the only way is up.
Yeah.
You know?
High elevation. We need to elevate all the time.
All of them.
All the time.
Great.
All the time.
Good, guys. Well, I think that brings us to the end of our show. Hopefully, we'll definitely see you guys down at the Cannabis Expo, and anybody else who's in the area, come say hello, please. Let's build this. Let's get this year out the way. I think everyone's ready for a bit of a break, but I certainly think I agree with you, Brett, that next year is going to be a steamer for the cannabis industry.
And I'll catch up with you guys at the expo tomorrow.
Cool.
Stay
Yes.
safe.
Okay.
See you guys.
Until then,
Bye.
take it easy. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye. Ciao.
Peace and love. Bye.